What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Maj Toure Show. I am your host, Maj Toure. Gun rights in the hood, they still matter. Shouts to everybody coming in. You know the routine, guys. Hit the like button. Share the space all over the place, depending on where you're watching. Comment in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. Support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. It's a super duper pro-gun episode. Y'all comment. I'm going to grab my other phone. Super pro-gun episode, guys. Super pro-gun, super angry, super concerned. What's up, Eli? How are you? Super concerned, super afraid, super accepting. That's what tonight's show is going to be, guys. As you can see on the screen, we have victory. All right? I want y'all to understand that. It says victory. What's up, everybody from Giffords? Giffords is an anti-gun group. Y'all, what's up, y'all? Everybody comment. Let me know where y'all watching from. If you're watching on X, please hit that repost button. Just get the likes up. As soon as you come in, just hit the like button. Hit it a bunch of times throughout the course of tonight's show. You see on the screen right here, we have victory. Gun silencer provision struck from the big, beautiful bill. This is a victory for an anti-gun team. This team is anti-gun. There's no confusion about Giffords and Everytown for Gun Safety and those guys 1,000% being an anti-gun organization. There's no conversation or no confusion about that. All right? And in the process of that, on that article, it's talking about the victory that they had over the pro-gun movement when Senate parliamentarians got rid of the legislation that would remove silencers from the National Firearms Act. What am I telling y'all this for? What does this have to do with this? Some of y'all tapped in. You want to know, what you mean gun rights in the hood still matter? When did they stop? I think we're about to lose a lot of these rights and a lot of the work that we've done over the last 9 years in urban demographics across America. I think that the pro-gun movement was making progress, and for some reason, it just stalled. When you're talking about like maybe 2016, 2017, right? 2015 through 17, there was more of a thirst. And I remember hitting damn near every state in America that year. And there were people that understood the importance of the Second Amendment and were willing to fight forward. And something has changed. And a lot of this I'm attributing to not only a Republican being in office, but also the Trump effect. All right. Now, the Trump effect is similar to the Obama effect. And for those of you that, aren't super young that's watching, there was a time when you couldn't say anything about Barack Obama, or if you was black, you was a sellout, or if you was not black, you was a racist. All right. And in that process, it removed legitimate critique from things that was wrong in the Obama administration. And a similar thing is happening with the Trump effect. I want to be very clear. The Trump administration, in either one of its iterations, has not been pro-gun. It has not been pro-Second Amendment. You might say that there's some things that his administrations have done that aren't an attack on gun rights, but they're not pro-gun. They're not. And one of those being not being able to get silencers off the NFA list, or the fact that as you have, even though there's slim margins with the Republican control over the House Senate, right? You can't get any pro-gun legislation into the law, codified. As much as they talk shit about people being in Congress and not getting nothing done, they seem to can't be able to balance a budget, slow up spending, or be pro-gun. And if you say that while Trump is in office, it's almost like you get painted as you're a liberal, you're the leftist, you hate Trump, you got Trump derangement syndrome. And I equate that to the same energy, like I said, of Barack Obama and your lack of being able to critique him. I remember one of the first things that Barack Obama did that I was like, wait, what? He re-upped on the Patriot Act and he campaigned on closing Guantanamo Bay. Oh, the way that we treating those guys, all of them aren't terrorists, da, 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 da. And I understood, not because you're trying to be sympathetic to terrorists, at least me, my perspective of it wasn't that. And I was much younger, obviously. So it wasn't about that. It was more so along the lines of the freezing of due process, the expansion of the totalitarian police state as of 9/11 and all of that. Because, you know, Obama got it after Bush and all that other stuff, right? And so when he went back on that, I was like, man, and when I critiqued him, people was like, oh, you just trying to attack. He don't got enough attacks going on. And so Trump, and this Trump administration is similar, and I fear that the work is still needed in these demographics that we've done. But as you guys may or may not know, we got a day and a half. Tonight's 8 o'clock. We have 28 hours to try to hit our goal of now 300, and I want to say maybe 60 donors at the $100 level. Or our classes, where we've done a lot of work, and we're trying to buy our building and keep these classes going free to all, our classes have to end. And a major push, and I'm not saying this to sound arrogant, when I showed up and created Black Guns Matter, we changed the face of what gun ownership kind of looked like. I'm going to keep it a buck. And people tell me this all of the time. The first few years that I went to SHOT Show, it looked one way. After I started doing massive amounts of media and making so many people want to get guns and all of this stuff from those demographics, people felt more comfortable being themselves in the Second Amendment space. I made a lot of people, I'm Allen Iverson. So if you could view it that way, if you guys know about Allen Iverson, he came in the game being exactly who he was and dressing how he was, and people became more comfortable with it. I got people that don't even like me that's dick riders like Brandon Tatum. He tried to change his look. He started growing a beard, started wearing his hat backwards, started growing locks a little bit. Y'all might not remember that, but nonetheless, this happened and we made tremendous progress in the urban demographic where we needed to be. And I remember a lot of people telling me, don't do blue cities. It's a waste of time. You can't carry a gun there. And in my mind, I'm like, what do you mean you can't carry a gun? Government does not dictate that. Are we living this or not? And so we made progress by us just bootstrapping. And I haven't seen anybody do it. This is not me being arrogant. Name one person that goes into multiple cities consistently for the years that we've done, got media, represented the urban demographic while not alienating other demographics, while getting cited in a major Supreme Court decision. Nobody. Nobody. They might be doing it in their city, and I'm not mad at that because we need a network, but not one person said, I'm going to put the Second Amendment on my back and bring it to the hood and then build a bridge. And that's why you see so many new instructors. So many, and because of I've never been a gatekeeper, and I communicate. I talk to instructors, I promote instructors all the time. Anybody that knows me will be like, if you ask him, he'll probably hook you up. Anybody. We don't do the fucking gatekeeping shit here. So saying this all to say, the need is there. The fight is not over. The Second Amendment is a natural God-given right as codified in the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights in the Constitution of the United States. But the general public still, and politicians are still playing fast and loose with your rights and using your rights as bargaining chips. So the need is still there. The fear is that now that Trump's in, a lot of you that agree with all of the stuff that I'm saying right now, you won't be as critical of Trump because this your guy. Just like the left wouldn't be critical of Obama because that's the black dude. Oh, the Republicans are not enough in there, and he's got enough for us to be. We got to fight. We got to stick together. So much so that you have had some fucking pundits on the right say that we should not publicly disavow people identifying as damn near neo-Nazis because they're right of center. We should unify and coalesce with those folks and not argue with each other in public. We should do it in private. I'm not unifying with a fucking neo-Nazi. See, that's under the thought process that all conservatives happen to be down with neo-Nazi, forget the Jews, forget the blacks ideology. And some of them word it that way because that's what they think. They think that conservative means being a white Christian nationalist, and it doesn't. It's not what it means. So when we came through with Black Guns Matter, wearing our hoodies, our t-shirts, going to the hood, going to hang out, kick it with people, being communal, the floodgates opened up. And we started getting more and more people in. However, you'd be surprised how many of the people that are gatekeepers, that are afraid to tell the full truth about the Constitution. Like, I'm going to be critical of law enforcement officers when they do shit wrong. I'm not going to not say anything because we're the party of law and order. You don't even know where that phrase law and order came from. That was marketed during the Nixon campaign. And Nixon was hella fucking racist. And I'm not saying hella racist because I'm a leftist just calling everything racist. There's audio. This isn't hard to find. So now, because I happen to be black, that understands and loves and appreciates my countrymen and countrywomen, you almost too balanced. The left won't receive you because you're not just yelling at white conservatives because you know that all conservatives aren't white. And the right doesn't all the way buy in because they know that you'll be critical of their person when their person is wrong. While meanwhile, both sides are pretending like they super objective and just want to tell the truth. And both sides are lying. So you create this situation where now we got to fund off of our own island. We get no government grants. We don't even ask for them. That's not our money. That's your tax money that they took from you. If y'all wanted us to have it, you would give it to us. That's why we got to give, send, go. So in the process of doing this, and because so many of my following is right of center, and because a lot of them voted for Trump, I voted for Trump. I'm a libertarian. I was like, absolutely not, Kamala. Absolutely not. Super pro, super anti-gun, absolutely not. Okay? And I've said this umpteen times. How Trump campaigned. Oh man, I thought he was putting together the Avengers. I say this all the time. And it's been a bust. Tell me in the chat if y'all agree or disagree. Let me know what you think. I'm just telling y'all what I see. That's why we took all of the Trump merch off of blackgunsmatter.shop. We was like, he not moving like a patriot. He's moving like he's compromised. And he's compromising things that he said for years. Now all of a sudden, because we want the Epstein client list, why are you guys still talking about Epstein? And if you notice, nobody's talking about Epstein right now. Y'all notice that? So our highest alignment is to limited government liberty values. And in the process of that, a lot of the people that fuck with what I'm saying, they don't want to seem like they're openly bashing the person that they down with because they more aligned with party or personality more than principle. This is why they struggle with Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. They say, oh, he just votes with the Democrats all of the time, and it's not true. Go ask Grok. I got the screenshot of it. I'll put it on the page later, or I'll DM it to anybody that wants it. Thomas Massey votes about 90% of the time with his party. He separates from them on issues of child trafficking that they, for some reason, seem to want to fucking defend. Overt, crazy, dumb spending. And restrictions on the or attacks on the Constitution. So if I'm saying no to you when you're doing dumb stuff, and you struggle because I'm being principled, now you're packaging principles of the Constitution as he didn't vote with us. If y'all are stupid and wrong, I'm not supposed to vote with you. But people on the right have identified with, you just got to go with the party. J.D. Vance literally said it on an interview, I think maybe last night. He was at a Turning Point event. Okay? It's stupid. But unfortunately, because a lot of pro-gun people, or they say they pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, they follow me because of our work there, but they may not like the critique, so they may not donate. They may not support. And we now have 2 days, 30 hours. What time is it? 8 o'clock? 12? Yeah. 28 hours to get now 300 and how many did I say earlier? 300 and some 360 $100 donors, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna be doing lives. I'm gonna be doing Instagram. I'm gonna be doing all types of stuff. Okay, we're gonna try to push hard as hell. But it's looking like the writing's on the wall, and I get frustrated because as we was making progress, I want to read something to y'all real quick. This is how I started my day. This was a post from earlier today on my page. If you're not following me on X, follow me there. Guys, let's get the likes up. Whatever platform you're watching this on, hit the like button. If you are watching it on X, please repost the show. Just hit the repost button. It costs you nothing. And this is kind of like what I'm talking about. We say we want champions for our community. We say we want people doing community work, but that needs to be an exchange. If we say, hey, we do this with you guys' support. Hey, everybody, please repost it. It costs you nothing to hit the repost button. So if people ain't hitting the repost button, it's like, damn, bro. If you're talking about guns, you are 1,000% getting a certain level of extra throttling in the algorithm because you're talking about guns. None of these platforms are pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. They're not. Okay? So we say do this, and that's the bare minimum. And this is what concerns me. But this is this morning. Let's read this real quick. I usually hit y'all with something empowering or motivating. But right now, I'm genuinely concerned about losing the ground we fought for over the last 9 years. We educated so many people, woken up so many people, brought a voice and perspective to the Second Amendment conversation that America had never seen. One that represents urban America, real culture, real freedom. And now, all of it's at risk. The part that hurts the most, I see the play. The war is nowhere near one. As Mamdani gains traction in New York, let me stop right there. Mamdani is an openly Democrat socialist. None of our pundits on the right have been talking about Sliwa, the Republican candidate that started the Guardian Angels. You want to talk about culture and politics. He started the Guardian Angels in the 70s. That's an amazing cultural story that can tie into the politics. But they're not saying that. And they'll say, well, it doesn't matter because he's in New York City. Trump didn't have a problem campaigning in New York City. Stop it. Trump did a job of going out and engaging these communities. You have to do it. But they're not. And Mamdani's got like an 84%. Polymarket is saying he's an 84% lock-in to win the city of New York. A Democratic socialist that'll be in charge of the financial capital of definitely America and possibly the world. But we on the right are making fun of 40 million Americans and EBT recipients. The vast majority of those people have work, but the economy's so fucked that they work and they need a little bit of assistance. But anyway, as Mamdani gains traction in New York, Crockett, Newsom, Harris, and Walz pretend to be responsible gun owners, as every town disguises their agenda as community safety. As Glock bends the knee to the anti-gun mob instead of standing firm, one thing is clear. They, the left, are not backing down. They're repositioning, infiltrating, and trying to reclaim everything we built. Stop right there for a second. And somebody just gave a donation. Julie. I won't say your last name, Julie. Julie, if you're in the show, please ID yourself if you want to so I can give you some extra love. Julie just donated 100, which makes us down to 359. We got today and tomorrow to do it. 359 more $100 donors. There's 123 of you watching right now. If 123 of you donate $100, that will be awesome. But let me go back to this story. When I say reclaim everything we built, earlier in the show, I had a discussion talking to y'all about how we came into the Second Amendment space as BGM and just engaged people, didn't make fun of people. I know some people thought because it was called Black Guns Matter and it was during the time where Black Lives Matter was a thing, they thought we was going to come in antagonizing white people. I'm not here for that shit. I'm here to strengthen the communities. And the community that needed it the most as it relates to the Second Amendment was urban America. It was. That's just what it is. That's where the highest concentration of anti-gun propaganda is, anti-gun legislation. So that's what we do to work. So we came in being ourselves and made progress. And the anti-gunners got their ass whipped by us. And they have really, really reposition themselves, and we're going to go over some of this tonight. We talked about it briefly last night. Repositioning themselves and infiltrating to reclaim what we did. Because they know they have more money. You're out of your mind if these anti-gun organizations don't know who the fuck I am and what we did. You're out of your mind. And they know they got way more money than us. So when somebody got more provisions than you, they can wait you out in a war. That's fucking Game of Thrones. We got 2 years of provisions. This the castle. You want us to come out. We not coming out. Do you got 2 years, Kingslayer? No, we do. We got 2 years of provisions in here. Every town for gun safety has a $20-30 million budget. We're the little engine that could. The reason why I like the moniker of saying, I'm like the Allen Iverson of the Second Amendment community, because Allen Iverson was playing against dudes that were giants, big fucking like 7-footers, and he still got it done. Because it was no better of a city for Allen Iverson to go to other than Philly. Because Philly fans, when we with you, we are with you. We don't care what you do, damn near. We damn near don't care what you do. I mean, within reason. Let me say that way. Philly fans, if you winning and you helping us win and you getting us on point, dig this. We with you. So we carried him. I remember at times, man, when he would be after the games, every game, home game, Allen Iverson after the home game, after a win, they would either be in Old City, which is like where the Constitution Hall is, Independence, the Constitution was signed, or they would be up like Houlihan's. It's Longhorn Steakhouse now on City Line Avenue. My point is, the city was on fire and we lifted him up because he was our warrior. And for a while, I felt like the gun community did that. But when I started becoming very critical, and that's fine because we're finding more solutionaries and we getting rid of some of the people that don't want to grow to where we at because they don't want to be objective against their team, their side. You're supposed to be team limited government. You're supposed to be team freedom. So when this is happening, I'm looking around and going, oh, I see what's going on. It's easier to do it when Biden's in office because we just get to make fun of Biden. Yeah, mine's them damn anti-gunners. So you're going to support me. But when I call out Trump, objectively, you might not want to support the same. And that's wrong. That's putting party over fucking policy and principle. It's what it is. And when I say that, people think I'm being funny. And it's like, no. Call me out. Who has done more for the Second Amendment that you know of with a shoestring budget? I would have $10 million in cash by now if I wasn't doing this over the last however many years. I know I would. I've made tremendous personal sacrifices. I make myself available to people. I do. And that's that ain't no special shit. That's me saying that based on what's necessary for the wins. Okay? And when I look at all of that and I go, damn, if our work isn't being done, and I know a lot of guys, they got their guns, they like shooting guns, they got a big following, they got a bigger following than me. They don't serve Americans. They don't. They don't. And if you think I'm talking about somebody in specific, I'm not. I'm talking about everybody. The Second Amendment community, right? Nobody, even people that have bigger platforms than me, more followers than me, especially since I got kicked off of Instagram 3 times, kicked off of X at I don't know, 100,000 followers. It doesn't matter. They don't put in, not as a point of arrogance, as a point of pride. I gave myself to this shit. I love this shit. I love the mind of a person that's being exposed to, first it starts with gun safety, then it starts to personal protection, then it goes to the Second Amendment. Then they start thinking about civics and the Constitution, and their mind just opens up, and you can't trick that person no more. I am here. My job is to realign your perception. That's my job. My job is to realign your perception around realities where you've been lied to and make you stronger. That's what Solutionary University is all about. So when I see I'm the one that, or our work is the thing that did it, or gave it that little tush push, pause. You know what I mean? The Eagle shit, we get it over, we get the first down. And that's cool. We got a first down. We got 3 more quarters left. The National Firearms Act shouldn't even fucking exist. The ATF is a rogue fucking agency that should not be there. Definitely the Gun Control Act of 68 shouldn't be there. So these things are in existence, and we started making this progress, and then I see we getting our ass whipped and our work may have to stop. Who gonna pick up the baton to that extent? Who has the free time and the resources in their own private life to be like, okay, get an RV, go travel around, go do this show, go do that. People got regular jobs. But let me keep reading this real quick. First, real quick, let me do some of these supports. Naturally Armed with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, Naturally Armed. Guys, if you are in the New Jersey tri-state area and you want firearms instruction in person, Naturally Armed is the person to see. Give her page a subscription and get in contact. Got another super chat. Says, anyone who knows about Black Wall Street knows what the hood can do with some freedom. This isn't much, but I hope it helps. Keep up the fight, Maj. I appreciate you tremendously for that. Libertate Pugnator. Libertate EM Pugnator. Libertate EM Pugnator. I'm probably butchering your name, but my apologies. Dave Davis is the next one. Says, I think the reason why Sliwa is making traction is because a Sliwa victory doesn't help Republicans. They would rather criticize Democrat mayors. And 2, Democrats outnumber Republicans in NYC. I agree with that to a certain extent, right? I'm not saying that Democrats don't outnumber Republicans. 1,000% they do. White liberals run New York City, right? But what I am saying is, why the pundits not trying to get... If somebody needs more support, your pundit class is supposed to redirect the media. Elon said it. You're the media now. So all of the Republicans is making fun of other Americans in the whole SNAP EBT conversation, packaging it as if Black people, other Americans, that we should be doing outreach to get into the conservative space, but no, we not. Our pundit class, instead of making fun of 40 million Americans, again, the vast majority of those 40 million Americans have jobs. The jobs just don't pay enough. So they got a little bit of assistance. Somebody in the Solutionary 9 group today was talking about how they get assistance not because for money, just on the health care benefit because their family member had a medical issue. I won't go too much into it. But other than the copay, the benefits helped pay for things that they wouldn't have had to pay out of pocket. But they made enough and were hardworking, but it wouldn't pay for certain things over there. Okay? And so our pundits are making fun of hardworking Americans, missing that context, damn near making it seem like, oh, it's all of the blacks. Using AI to make these dumbass videos to, again, repeat debunked talking points. If you go on X, that's all your For You tab is. People whining about the people on Snap EBT and the people complaining about they're going to cut my off. We're supposed to be the adults in the room, leading people into freedom and conversations. So saying all of this to say, Sliwa isn't getting the look because none of the pundits are talking about Sliwa. They're making fun of other Americans, which goes to your other point. Republicans get better funding when they could just go at Kamala, go at Joe, go at Barack. But don't keep that energy for the disrespect to the Constitution when one of our side of the aisle does it. This is why they struggle with Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey is a friend of mine. I busted up with Thomas Massey every chance I get. I have no problems with Thomas Massey. But we solutionaries. Anyway, they're repositioning, infiltrating, and trying to reclaim everything we built. I know where this goes. We've been here before. We've always been the reactive side in the schools, in the culture, in the media, in politics. We watched while anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-2A agendas ran laps around us. And just when we started catching up, Building real momentum, shifting minds, folks got comfortable. We took our foot off the gas. We took our foot off the gas. Oh, we got it. We cool now. You're not cool until the only thing that's left is property rights, the Constitution, and limited government, especially as it relates to the Second Amendment. You're not cool until then. And now we're watching them slide right back into reclaim the narrative we fought to build. What do I mean by that? Oh, I'm glad you guys asked. This came up, we talked about it briefly last night. Meet Angela Farrell Zabala, Executive Director of Moms Demand Action. A lifelong community organizer, has served as Moms Demand Action's first ever executive director since 2023. We was busting their ass since 2016. They started getting it together. And who did they get to be the face? Her. Smart. Got locks. What does Maj have under his hoodie? Locks. What do so many women that we brought into the Second Amendment space have? Natural hair, locks. There was a super viral video of these ladies, black women with guns like business casual clothes. Some of them had locks, some of that, blah, blah, blah. There's so many naturally armed is assisted. This is smart. So when I make the statement where I say they're trying to reclaim the narrative that we fought to build, they're trying to hijack that, and it's smart. It's very smart. I respect it. Because man, I would trash her too, just like I trashed the executive vice president of Gun Violence Prevention of America. I've trashed everybody that tried to sit across from me talking this anti-gun shit. I'm Jay-Z. Like, man, can't nobody stand on a pro-gun stage with me. Like he said about Versus. There's nobody ever that can stand on a pro-gun stage with me and compare. They can't. You sit an anti-gunner in front of me on a Versus stage, I'ma actually fucking trash them. That's it. There's no conversation about it. David Hogg ran from me. David Hogg ran from me and then ran to another libertarian. I can't go against Maj. He still got his ass whipped. He went to go debate Spike Cohen when everybody for years was saying, you should debate Maj. Back when I was still even entertaining doing debates. Ran. Oh, I'm going to go. Spike still warmed that ass up. Pause. But don't none of these people want no smoke with me. Why? Because not only do I reach a demographic that you're trying to trick and make it seem like you care about them, Malcolm Ben told me to skinny you on you liberals. El Hajj Malik al-Shabazz told me to skinny you on you liberals 70 years ago. I ain't tripping. So you want to get the demographic that we started making become pro-gun, so you can't do it with the same faces. It's smart. It's not dumb. It's not evil. It's a tactic. So when I make the statement and when I say, oh, they're trying to come to reclaim the narrative that we, that's what I mean. That's one example. That is not the future I want for us, our children, or our children's children. I want to lock in these wins. I want this message and mission to continue long after us. I want our communities trained and empowered, not begging the state for safety. We have 2 days left to secure this mission and make sure it does not disappear. If you do not want to see this work end, if you believe in empowering families, building real two-way advocates, and giving our people a place to train, learn, and grow, now is the moment. Let me stop real quick for a second. That line right there where I said, building real 2A advocates and giving our people a place to train, learn, and grow. I want to redirect y'all to naturally armed statement here. You paved the way to help know that there is a space for me to do my part. Naturally armed. If I'm lying, call me out. If I'm lying right now, Ray Kent just gave another $50. I said your last name, my bad. I was just reading that. If you want to identify yourself, Ray, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm assuming you're in the show. Naturally armed. I want you to, if I'm lying, 1000% call me out in public. When you reached out to me to add to or get perspective on anything that you're doing training related, right? You're a firearms instructor. I'm a firearms instructor. In any way, shape, or form, and call me out and call me a liar if I'm lying. In any way, shape, or form, did I charge you? Did I try to gatekeep you? Did I give you the runaround? I want you to comment that publicly, naturally armed. When we're talking about, somebody in here said they from Boston, Massachusetts. In Boston, there's a firearms instructor by the name of the Don Firearms. His name is Don Core. Okay? Fundamentals, appreciate that with the $10 super chat for sure. Said I'm gonna cop some more BGM merch. I appreciate you. Don Core, the Don Firearms, came to our very first BGM class in Boston. It was snowed out, and we didn't think nobody was gonna come. He came to that class, and that was his first time. And right then, we met, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna be a firearms instructor. I went back to Boston in his facility that he's an instructor in. And I've co-done classes with him because he's turned into a firearms instructor from after coming to our very first Black Guns Matter event in Boston. I lied to you not. We create force multipliers. What I do not do and never will fucking do is be a fucking gatekeeper. I hate that shit. Insecure people do that. Insecure people do that. I'm not insecure. I'll be wearing the same hoodie a bunch of times. I'll be floating around. I just be living life. Nobody on the earth can make me feel insecure. It's called self-esteem. Okay? So when I see people striving, I help. Naturally, Arm ain't say nothing yet. But my point is I help. Why I'm telling y'all that is, this is how we make bigger strides in shorter periods of time when we create more leaders. See, some of these people want to be followers and or they want followers. And I get it. Everybody got a different role in the army. But I would prefer creating more leaders, more firearms instructors, more people that look and go, damn, I could do that. I want to do that. That's how we win. But my fear is I have too many people that are not willing to say, all right, I might disagree with him, or I do agree with him. I just don't want to say nothing about Trump, but I still understand that this work is important, so we're going to get behind it. I fear that I still have too many of those people in my following. I fear. I'm not 100% certain, but that's the shift that it feels like. Okay? So when I said building real two-way advocates and giving our people a place to train, learn, and grow, I meant that shit. And I have receipts, real life examples that can prove that. Now is the moment. Donate now and stand with us, because if we don't defend this, nobody will. 363. Wait, now it's, I think, 359. 359 donors, $100 donors. Deadline is Halloween at midnight. Now, what are these pictures? This is in Baltimore. This was a firearms and stop the bleed class in Baltimore. Great class. 1000% great class. This is me teaching the firearms basics class in the Solutionary Center, the building. This is us teaching conflict resolution to at-risk students in Philadelphia. All of this was free. All of this was work because of what you guys did. And this is our building that we're trying to grab. This is the Solutionary Center. This is not AI. This is not a theory. This is what we did. And we struggled and we fought and we sacrificed and my team sacrificed and we fought and we rumbled. And I took L's that I could never tell y'all about. It's things that I've done, that I've experienced, that I can't even tell y'all right now. Maybe not ever. All for the love of trying to get this done. So when I say, yo, I'm a little bit like, damn about this. This is why. Of us doing all of that to get fast forward all the way to the year 2025. And Giffords is having victory laps. Victory laps. Naturally Armed says, not at all. You made yourself available, chopped it up with me, gave me real support and perspective, prepped me for a podcast. I did. This is not me lying. If there were more people that, were firearms instructors in this chat, they all would say the same thing. And I'm not saying this to be funny. Happy birthday, Fundamentals. Appreciate you, bro. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to be funny. I'm just telling y'all that I really like this job. I like my job. I work for y'all. But when I see that and I see the shift and I see us and our inability to call certain things out and not support as loud, because it's cool when I'm going at Biden. When Biden had the gun violence prevention office and they earmarked $13 billion for it. And I put y'all onto that when he was in office. I think that was like 2022, something like that. And when I told y'all about that, and everybody was like, yeah, go. But when I'm telling y'all every town got $20 million and we still up against a bigger budget than we have, and then we fast forward to 2025 with all of that momentum, and now while a Republican is in office and the House and the Senate is Republican-led, in 2025 of June, provision removed in the Birdbath Senate bill. Eliminated restrictions on gun silencers and short barrel firearms, including background checks threatening every community. Giffords gets to even say this, even though it's false. They get to say it because we didn't secure that W. We got our pundits saying things that are in opposition to, it's repulsive to moderates that are in urban demographics. You got people right here, right now, trying to make black people, I'm telling y'all, if y'all see it, call it out on social media. You got these people with microphones making it seem as if they low-key look like racists. Not because I truly believe that if you disagree with me, you're a racist. I'm not a lefty. But their marketing and branding and outreach is non-existent or horrible at best. So Giffords gets to say this year, after another record-breaking year of gun purchasing from the urban demographic. Giffords gets to say, we got that pro-gun, we're going to keep them silencers, so-called silencers, suppressors, whichever one you want to call it, we're going to keep that on the NFA. What did the NRA have to say about it? U.S. Senate forced to remove pro-gun language from reconciliation bill. Today, the U.S. Senate was forced to remove pro-gun language that had been previously included in a reconciliation bill currently making its way through the chamber. The language was deemed to violate the Byrd Rule by the Harry Reid-appointed Senate parliamentarian. The Byrd Rule is a process that's used when considering reconciliation measures by the U.S. Senate. This process allows measures that would usually typically require a 60-vote threshold in the U.S. Senate to only require a simple majority. The Byrd Rule determination is made by the Senate parliamentarian based upon a number of factors, including whether the provision would increase or decrease revenues, and whether the change in revenue would be merely incidental to the other alterations that the provision will make no public law. They literally telling you we had to use the Senate parliamentarian to come in and say, hey, if we take SBRs and suppressors off of the National Firearms Act list, it's going to impact our revenue generation because you got to spend $200 on a suppressor. That's the tax. That's the tax stamp you get for on the price, on top of the price of the suppressor. So they're saying, wait a minute now, we're going to lose way too much money. We got to apply the Byrd Rule here. Not respect for the Second Amendment. Now, I want to be clear. The Senate parliamentarian is usually a nonpartisan person. Okay? But you couldn't do it. So while moms demand action, every town for gun safety, Giffords are able to claim a victory in June of 2025, the NRA ILA got to come up with some way to kind of spin it like, well, at least da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's what they doing. The game is, come on, bro. That's what they doing. And on top of them doing that, they doing this. They're making better PR and legislative moves. Meanwhile, at the same time, you're getting all of the Democrats. We talked about this last night. All of the Democrats are like, yeah, I got guns. Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, everybody, yeah, guns are awesome. Yeah, I got guns. Now they positioning themselves as, well, we're gun owners, and we look like you too. There's no reason that you need a 30-round magazine. You guys have high capacity magazine. And the general public that we have yet to reach, that it makes sense to them. They don't look at, if somebody teaches you something about firearms, right? Because every town has a gun safety class now. Okay? They're an anti-gun organization masquerading as we kind of Second Amendment. We just want sensible, common sense gun laws. That's their phrasing. And this is a better approach to get it done. You see a single mom and they see her and she give them a safety class and she say, here's who you should vote for. And they have a camaraderie now. What? It's smart. But meanwhile, right now, there's 350 of you watching the show tonight. 350. This would be awesome if all 350 of you donated $100 each. We would be done. We have until tomorrow at midnight. This is bittersweet because we shouldn't even be in this position. And it's not my right to try to lean on the owner of the building and force him to do what I want him to do. And come on, bro, we've been here for 3 years. It's not about that. He is a real estate developer, and he's been very patient with us. He's not a person that's like in the business of, he's not a nonprofit for BGM. So if he sees a better deal or somebody's like, hey, I offered this, I offered that. And if we can come in with a solid offer and we beat their offer, we get it. Cool. We figure it out from there. But if not, it's not his job. It's our job. I want to say this real quick to everybody that has supported. First, guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. There's now 360 of you watching. If every single person donated, Kent, what's up from Vegas? Kent, was that you that just gave that donation? I think so. From Vegas on X. Appreciate you if that was you. If everybody in here donated $100, we will be done right now. But I get it. Some of y'all can't. Some of y'all just don't want to. Appreciate you, Kent. Kent, you've done like 50 twice and then 100 like a couple of days ago or something, if I'm not mistaken. This proves, if I'm correct, this proves that it's actually me and not a bot. A lot of y'all think that some of the shit is a bot. You get an automated response and then on Instagram, and then after that, you're actually dealing with me, okay? But Kent, I think you gave like 3 times in the last week, if I'm not mistaken. And I appreciate that, if I'm correct. I think I'm correct. Nonetheless, guys, for everybody that has given, this isn't me saying this like to be rude to you. I want to be clear about that. I communicate in a very objective way. You know, I say my position and I clarify what I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody. If you get offended by that, at that point, it's like, bro, it's nothing I could do. You know what I mean? I communicated very effectively. So this is not me trying to be offensive to anybody that has given, like, I'm trying to like dump on what you did. Okay, Kent right there says, Kent, yes, 200 in the last 2 days. Everyone else needs to step up. Appreciate you there, Kent. I thought I was certain that was you. I appreciate you. I'm saying this not because I'm like trying to be rude to the people that have given, nor am I saying if you can't give 100, fuck you. If you got 10, you got 25, whatever, give what you can. I'm not knocking it. We say $100 numbers so we can count down. Now we need 358, I think, if that's the number that I said. Anyway, it's more about me saying that we as a Second Amendment community in general, there's ways and areas that we really could all pitch in. And I promise you, I'm not trying to sound like that pastor that was like, the lady came up and gave him 1,100 and it was supposed to be 2,000 and he like played her in front of everybody. I promise y'all I'm not trying to do that either. I'm just keeping it a buck because I know what's at stake. These people are not like gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. And our current president, this administration is not really pro-gun like that. It's not pro Second Amendment like that. Soon as he picked Bondi, I was like, ugh, yikes. Maybe she's going to turn another leaf. But that's not what happened. I got people at FPC, GOA, I communicate with them, and they like, yo, chick is fighting against the SBR conversation. Shelly says, I've donated and taken a class. I'm a teacher, an immigrant, now citizen, and a woman. Come on, guys, we can do this. I appreciate you, Shelly. Thank you. I'm saying this because, guys, we just don't. We just don't have a pro-gun presidency. We just don't. We don't. I'm just low-key. This is going to sound crazy to y'all. Y'all going to think I'm bugging. Low-key, we would have more Second Amendment support if Kamala would have won. If Kamala would have won, we would have more pro-gun support. Why? Because Republicans would have been fighting against Kamala at any move that they made. Remember how Donald Trump and everybody was saying when Biden was talking about student loan forgiveness? Give me a comment in the chat if you remember that. Let's also get the likes up, everybody. If you're watching on X, please hit the repost button, right? Hit like if you're watching on YouTube, Rumble, all that other good stuff. How many people in the chat remember when we were all like, hell no, to Biden floating the idea of forgiving student loans? Remember, we was like, that's socialism. Hell no. What about the people that worked hard and da-da-da-da and whoop-de-whoop? And that argument never made sense to me. I'm not talking about the people that worked hard. I'm talking about the people right here. But we all were unilaterally against this shit. Damn near all of us. Do you know that Trump is agreeing to pay student loans? I'm not lying. Go grok it if y'all think I'm lying. All right? If you think I'm lying, go watch it. Go look. The Trump administration is talking about forgiving student loans. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Socialism. When we talk about the Trump administration taking tax dollars and buying 10% of that one company, that is socialism. Private entities and government are not supposed to be together. I'm not with bailouts. Whatever word they want to call it. Sometimes they call it bailouts. Sometimes they call it quantitative easing. Sometimes they call it stimulus checks. Sometimes they call us this. I don't care. Appreciate you again, Naturally Armed. I'm telling y'all that socialism leads to communism. We are literally about to get a democratic socialist as the mayor of New York. So I'm saying this, and I'm just telling y'all, like, we don't have a pro Second Amendment presidency. I like Trump's character. He's funny. He's charismatic. That doesn't change that. But we gotta call balls and strikes. And when I'm telling y'all this, some people don't want to accept that, and it does impact it. It impacts the work. Because I get it. You don't want to even feel like you're betraying the dude. Because you've placed so much of your faith in a man. And not the principles. I seen J.D. Vance, like I said earlier, J.D. Vance got on the camera last night and said that Thomas Massie doesn't vote with the Republicans every time they need him for a vote. Thomas Massie is like, yeah, no, because I'm not just doing that because y'all asked me to do that. My attachment and my obligation is to my constituents and the Constitution. That's why. No, it doesn't make sense for me to do that. Why would I do that? I'm going to try to pull up this joint that I seen at Thomas Massie. I think I reposted it today. That post itself. I'm going to try to find it. It doesn't bode well when you're trying to make a principled person be unprincipled. Why are you even trying to do that? What would be the reason for you to do that? Oh, because you want to get your thing off. And now when that person is like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Now that person seems to be the problem. No, guys. No. That's not what the game is. The game is supposed to be limiting government. Libertate says this: if we can push Massey into running, we get a pro 2A president. I have my suspicions about Thomas Massey. I have my suspicions, and that's the homie. I'm concerned that they're gonna try to use him for something else. But nonetheless, I'll form this thought a little bit further, and before it gets to presidential choosing time, I'll tell y'all my concerns with Thomas Massey. But anyway, regardless of that, right now, he's a principled dude. And sometimes the people that should lead are the people that don't want to lead. The person that wants to be in control is like, yeah, I'm the smartest. It's like, oh, bro, you need to fall back. And sometimes the people need to be honest about which person is which. And right now, guys, I have a fear based on what I'm seeing. And we got 358 donors, and we got to do this by midnight tomorrow. Guys, the game is fucked up right now. We need a miracle. And it's unfortunate that we're in this space because we've done the work. We do the work. And it's not just indicative of BGM and the Solutionary Center. It's indicative of what happens when patriots get complacent. What happens when we put personality or party over principle? When we can't have straight talk about this has not been a super pro-gun administration, and it's supposed to be. By definition, a conservative or Republican is supposed to mean a person that is limiting government, is about natural rights, and respectfully, obviously, is supposed to be limited spending, fiscally responsible. None of this administration is doing any of those things. And we're supposed to be able to say that. And when we say it, we're supposed to tell it to our representatives that go to DC and go, no, this is the reason why we're not voting for that. But what's happening is we've fallen back, and the unintended consequences as we are falling back, the anti-gun left are evolving. Shit, man, David Hogg done look like he's starting to get in the gym. He still got 10-inch arms, but he got a beard and shit. It's smart. Are we going to be smart? Are we going to follow through? Are we going to do the things that are necessary for us to get the W? I don't know. If I fall back and our work isn't happening no more, going city to city, creating a headquarters in Philly, I cannot honestly tell y'all somebody that I would feel confident that I would be like, oh, they already did the work, so they could just slide in my spot. And I could go grow fruits and vegetables. I can't name one, not because I'm trying to be funny. I'm saying that because nobody's done it. And I would like to continue doing it. But if not, I got to speak. If the people don't want it, maybe y'all just want to tap into the show and hear me talk. Maybe y'all just want me to be a internet person. Maybe y'all like, hey, it's cool. We feel like it's good. It's good. Maybe the 400 people that's watching right now aren't hearing the value in what, maybe y'all don't know what we already did. Maybe y'all don't understand what needs to be done. I try every time on the show to tell y'all, look, this is what they doing. This is what they just did. This is what we're not doing. Here's how we can reapproach that. I try to give solutions. Maybe the 400 people watching are like, yeah, fuck that. I don't care about the Second Amendment. And that's the part that's scary. Decent. Appreciate you, Decent. D'Artagnan as well. Appreciate y'all. Y'all just gave donations. Appreciate y'all. Decent. And I hope I'm not butchering your name. D'Artagnan. I won't say your whole thing. Appreciate you. Ties Did It says, have you ever heard of We the People podcast? No, who's on that? Says, I think y'all will do some good work together. Who's that? That's not the bull with the double chin. That's not, what's this with the locks? He blocked me on X. He's a sucker. He's a simp. I hope that's not who you're talking about. I hope not. I forget. Oh, no. That's not them. That podcast is called Grits and Eggs. That's how you know he chubby. He named his podcast after food. Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? But I'm joking. I don't know the brother like that. We the people. I could rock with it. Shoot me a DM on it. Hey guys, everybody got my email. Maj2ray at solutionaryuniversity.org. Shoot me an email. If you got a plug over there with them folks, I'm willing to talk to anybody, but for the remaining 24, 28 hours, I'm gonna be doing this. Fundraising and trying to not have our thing roof fall in on us. You know what I mean? Naturally, Arm says, I got a space for you in Newark. Yeah, if we could come, I love Newark, man. Newark get a bad rap. They get a little rough around the edges at times, but I like Newark. Yeah, we keep going. I want to come back to Newark. You know, guys, all I'm gonna ask is this. I'm gonna ask everybody to do two things because I think this is a cool spot to wrap up for tonight. I'm gonna stay up until tomorrow. I'm not gonna go to sleep. I might take a quick cat nap here and there. I'm gonna go to sleep a little bit, but not much. I'm gonna try to stay up and fundraise to get this done. We now need 300. Peep this. There's more people in the chat right now watching this live than we need to keep our mission going forward. I can't know that and see that and not say that and then like not feel some type of way. And that's outside of the people that have already supported. But it's like, damn, y'all, if we need 358, whatever that number was, donors, and we got 407 people watching, everybody just pitch in and we be straight. But this is what I fear. I fear like America's, we so good, we got it so good that we don't see when the ground is shrinking underneath our feet. The things that I'm showing y'all, you got to have a keen eye to see the different PR spins and moves that they making, right? So I think sometimes we so complacent, it didn't get as bad as Argentina. Shouts to Javier Milei, who's won the midterm elections again, turning Argentina around, Bitcoin everything over there, right? Keimer Shadow says, YouTube is preventing me from sending a super chat. That's wild. Just do it at GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If anybody else has had that issue, just do it at GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Put it there. I think we sometimes we have it so good and it hasn't gotten bad. I thought it was going to get bad around the COVID shit. I thought zombies was going to pop off and then everything that I told everybody was going to be, people was going to be like, hell yeah, Maj, you was right, right? But we ain't get zombies. We just got dumb people looking for brains. So it hasn't gotten bad enough for you to really appreciate and respect whatever's going down with the Second Amendment and government overreach. Because even with fucked up shit, you don't have like shanty towns and super poverty. Like it's just not there. Shouts to Keimer Shadow with a $10 super chat. This is not there, right? So, but the ugly part is, if it gets that bad, there's always casualties in them situations. You feel me? So all I'm saying to y'all is this, man. It does hurt. It does sting a little bit when I see we this close and I see the amount of people that's watching and I'm like, damn, if everybody really fucked with it, they would just pitch in. And then it doesn't happen. And I'll be like, damn. And it's not to blame. It just makes me go like, yikes. Somebody put the link in the chat on YouTube. Bookworm, toss that in there if you can. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you're watching on X, it's my pinned post up above you. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's scrolling. Any platform you're watching on, it's scrolling at the below on the ticker. But the link is GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Yeah, man, I can't even. It's if something amazing happens and this is like a roller coaster that we on, you know what I mean? That's the link right there. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If it's an amazing roller coaster, then that's dope. That's cool. If we like get by with the skin of our teeth and we keep going, that'll be an awesome part to the story. But I want y'all to think about this too. Like, people think because they got a gun, they gonna win the gunfight. First of all, you don't win gunfights. You just survive them. You don't get no stuff. It's not like a prize, right? So similar, people think that everything could go the way you want it to go, and it may not. We could lose. We could absolutely lose, and I don't feel confident in like leaving on these stones unturned. As the anti-gunners are evolving and getting better, So I'm just being honest with y'all. I fuck with y'all. I like this part. I fought against being a streamer, YouTube person, but I like communicating with y'all. I'm a people person. I'm generally and genuinely a people person. So when I tell y'all this, I'm telling y'all this from the bottom of my heart that I enjoy doing this work and I see the need for it and I'm good at it and I would like for it to continue. I would like to go out on a W. We got rid of the Gun Control Act. We got rid of the NFA. We got 4 soldiers lined up to knock out the next one, knock out the next one. Then that'll be cool. It's like people, you want to transition from this physical body with your grandkids and your great grandkids around, and that's a cool ass win. I don't want to go out losing to the anti-gunners. And we got about 27 hours before we either win or lose with these anti-gunners. So we're going to need everybody's help. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Thank you all for tapping in. Please share the space all over the place. Hit the repost button if you're watching on X. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Shoot me DMs. Shoot me emails. Maj2ray@solutionaryuniversity.org. If you got questions, if you want to sign up for Solutionary University, don't know what that is, because everybody that donates at the $99, that's a $100 donor or more, you get access to Solutionary University. All of that transformative information. All of those video modules that you take at your own pace from the comfort of your home. And you learn and you share that with your friends and your family and all that other good stuff. Big Rob, I appreciate that, Rob. I just got that email. All of the folks that can actually, you can help their life. You get all of this powerful information by helping us, helping pay it forward for somebody else, and you get things as well. All right. So hopefully you guys can do that. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Share the space all over the place. That's what you get for being a $100 donor. Anybody over, whatever else you got, if you want to donate, you can do that too. Thanks again, guys. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. I'll be shooting DMs and emails and all of that stuff all night. I'm going to just try to stay up as much as possible and continue to fundraise. Follow me on Instagram, Big Daddy 2Ray. If you don't, follow me there. Follow my backup at Maj2Ray999, on X at Maj2Ray999. And let's engage. If you got some more you want to talk about, you want to ask me some questions, you want to do that, shoot me a DM. Follow me, shoot me a DM. Say, hey, Maj, I'm just here to ask you XYZ. Shoot me an email. But please, guys, it's 470 you still tapped in. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. See you guys tomorrow. Be safe. Be solutionary.